Hi everybody, I'm Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another book review. Excuse me. Brain faster than tongue, as usual. I recently read Insurgent. Actually, it took me 2 days to get through it, but it was truly a page turner. I could not put it down. It was even darker than the first book, if that's possible. And there were more events in the second book that I found to be more disturbing and revealing than in Divergent. And we learned more about um, Four as well as Triss and the other characters that are involved. And there are some more deaths, of course. It's just very grisly and unsettling in many of the scenarios, but it's just engrossing, extremely engrossing, and it's very psychological in the way that it's written, and it just speaks of relationships and religion, and just the fact that in this society it's not really seen as a good thing, and that's something they pushed aside. And only one faction, the Amity, they still hang on to the religion. And I thought that was very intriguing because I think that dogma is very, very limiting. I think that religion, in and of itself, is an extremely uh, close-minded, strict, just something that has, uh, dare I say, held society back. Um, I'm a Christian myself, okay? I'm actually more concerning myself as a spiritualist, uh, non-denominational. I don't like to put the Christian flag on myself very much because it's just there's so many things that Christians are blamed for, but it's actually fundamentalists that people are thinking about. These fanatical people who believe every little thing in the Bible is true. And I don't even. No, I don't want to get started with that. I have trouble with this, and this is the reason why I consider myself as such, and I may very well be an agnostic now that I think of it. And I don't think anything is wrong with this, honestly. And I don't check my brain at the door, and I think that it's wonderful that there are books such as this that challenge us and help us to reconsider ourselves, wake us up as a society, and make us realize that if we keep going down the path we're going down, we need more interaction as people. I know I'm looking at this using a camera, and yeah, the whole irony of that is really thick. But as far as talking to people, I think that discussion is important. Having an open forum, I think that there should be forums, even though that was done a long time ago, and it seems like archaic. No, I think that there are a lot of things that were solved in forums. Maybe not when Almighty Rome was in control, probably not, because I think a lot of people died. Pretty sure history proves me right. Um, this is just another illustration of how labels and certain elements such as that can limit you, and it's not good to put people into pigeonholes and to stereotype them, or to say, well, you're this, this, and this because you do this, that, and that, and you're going to be this, that, and the other, and no. Einstein himself said that there's no test for IQ. There are different sorts of IQ. It all depends on how you react to certain situations and how how you would be prepared for certain scenarios or incidences, or just everyday life, how you interact with people, etc. Hobbies, 20 questions, answering certain questions a certain way, or just the first thing that comes to your mind, just like a psychologist would say. If I say red, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And if you would say red to me, I would probably say heart. That would be the first thing that would come to my mind, and I don't know why, but um, but anyway, I'm sorry I got a little bit off topic, but Insurgent is truly a fantastic book. It's just outstanding, and it left me hanging though. That was the one thing I didn't care about at all. But she has written a third book concerning Four, which I'm really excited about because Four has become my favorite character in the entire series besides Triss. And I think that he's a very intriguing character. He's extremely complicated. You learn about the factionless in this particular book, which I found to be extremely engaging and gripping, and it really makes you think about the power of words, the power of groups. I should say community. Community is extremely integral in society. Without communities, there would be no society. And of course, you've got excuse me, pardon me. You have microcosms that live within the macrocosm. Of course, the macrocosm probably doesn't realize this, but it's just a proliferation upon itself. It's this one layer upon another layer upon another layer upon another layer that's above that layer, and then you have a governing layer that oversees everything. And this can become complex. And this is the thing within Insurgent that I love so much, the hierarchy of it all. It's just really fascinating if you're interested in psychology, sociology, anthropology, even though, well, it could be considered an anthropological book if you're into things like that. It's very heady, it's smart, it wasn't challenging for me to read, but it was very disturbing on many levels, just concerning the possibility of what could happen in our society if this were to come to pass, and God help us. I hope it never does. Just like when I read the trilogy for the Hunger Games. I know I've mentioned that before. You're probably getting tired of it. Sorry if I sound like a broken record. It's just that it's something that truly makes me ponder, and my mind just runs wild with the probabilities and possibilities of dystopia happening. And I think to myself, heaven forbid. And I would never want this to happen, and I think that everybody should read this, particularly our government. And there's a reason why I say that. Our government doesn't have any idea what's going on. Our government is broken. Our government needs to be fixed. In order to do that, we need to put in people who understand economics, which we have none of currently. Secondly, we need people who understand economic. Well, I just said that. We need people that understand the agrarian part of the society. We need people who are engineers. We need people who are entrepreneurs, because the people actually. I think that entrepreneurism is what makes this country great, and that was one thing that gave the country its notoriety. And we should never become a nation of borrowers. And I can't remember whether it was Winston Churchill who warned, no, Woodrow Wilson. I think it was Woodrow Wilson who was warned by. Just don't. Somebody help me here. I think it was. I do think it was Winston Churchill who said, "Don't go on the dole," which we're on the dole. Yeah, it's kind of a this ripple effect that is Another thing I want to mention here, don't blame me. This is something that was brought up to me by my dad, but I think the UN is a waste of time, and I think it's a forum where we as the U.S. are blamed for things that we did not do, that we didn't cause, and it's just it's such a political thing, and too much money is going into it, and it's just wasting our resources and our time. We don't need a UN anymore. It's not doing us any good. Euros should be done away with. The euro is a bad idea. Let's go back to regular money. Let's go back to a system that you know actually works instead of using the euro because it's just dumb. Um, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but these are things that I'm kind of fed up with, and I just would love to see a change. And I don't consider myself well versed in politics or anything like that. I'm especially not very savvy on economics. Or I understand the agrarian system because I'm living around it. I'm not a farmer myself, but um, farmers are the nation's backbone. Let's just put it that way. And without farms, you have no food, and without food, you have no livelihood. So, with the crops being bad this year, no fault of our own, the drought is just going to make inflation go up. And I think that we should do away with oil. Yeah, I know flames are going to come my way, but yeah, I just said that. But I just think that we could use other kinds of energy, like plasma energy. I'm not sure how this would be integrated, but I'm sorry I'm kind of going off topic here, but I just really would like to see a plasma engine made because there's no emission from a plasma engine, or there would be no emission from a plasma engine. Um, you could put it in a car. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not entirely certain how the mechanisms of that would be possible, but I'm sure that something could be done if some physicists and some engineers, some mechanics all gathered together in the same room and said, well, we can take this, we can make a combustion engine that would use plasma rather than oil and gas, and there'd be no emissions, and it could run forever. Or you can use magnets, or H2O. You can just go on and on and on. I'm sorry this became kind of a odd discussion, a rant, but anyway, I highly recommend the book, and it will make you think. It will definitely get um, your group talking if you know anything about what I'm talking about and you feel the same way I do. This is something that I never want to see happen to our illustrious U.S. And I'm a patriot, but I'm not a blind patriot, and it's just something that I just want to see a difference. And if anybody else is listening to this who feels the same way I do, we need to take a stand. We need to take a stand, and we need to figure out something to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, and make our forefathers proud, like we did back in the day. Um, Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say, and I'm sorry I ranted, and forgive me. I just completely got off track and became way, 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 way too disgusted. But you know what? I don't think it's going to be that way always. I think that there will be a shift, and we will see transition, and it will come. But it will take a while. It'll take a few years to actually see this come to pass. But granted, we will get through this like we have before. This is all cyclical, just like the last depression was. Stock market's always like that. Everything is. Everything in this life is cyclical. Up and down, and we'll get back to the swing of things. Everything will be fine. All will be well. You will see. So that's all my wisdom for today. Sorry I got a little bit ranty there. I didn't mean to. Forgive me.